It finally happened. So let's talk about it. James Harden is now a Clipper. We've heard rumors James Harden may go here, may go there. It's always been a front runner for the Clippers. They finally get their guy, Daryl Morey. I believe, from what I've been reading, obviously I have no inside scoop, but from what I've been reading, he felt pressure to make a deal by the higher ups, aka the owner of the Sixers, to make a deal sooner rather than later. Because let's just be for real. Anytime there's a conflict of interest in any type of workplace, it's always going to be a detriment to success, to teamwork, to chemistry building. It's never going to be a beneficial factor. So props to the Sixers for finally getting out of that mess. I'm a James Harden fan. I still believe James Harden is an elite player. Yes, he's very dramatic. Yes, he more than likely crossed the line as a player in even though this is a players league, going out in public and publicly thrashing Morey's name, and even though rightfully so his feelings may have been hurt, I still feel like there was a more professional way to handle everything. Obviously, I'm not in the business, so I don't know, and I may just look dumb saying all this, but I feel like there is a little bit of a professional aspect that Harden completely missed. But anyway, the Sixers come out of this trade 100% better. And you're probably looking at me like they got nothing in value in return. And if you don't know the trade details, you should by now. But if you don't, the 76ers are trading James Harden, PJ Tucker to the Clippers for Batum, Morris, Rocco, KJ, 2 first-round draft picks, a pick swap, and 2 second-round picks. And just to break that down a little bit more, the Clippers have traded 4 wing guys, which you can argue KJ is more of like an inside versus, wing. But essentially 4 wing players for PJ Tucker and James Harden. So that either means that the Clippers are going to have to make one more smaller move near the deadline or something like that, or they're just going to have to trust in their guys. Kawhi, obviously, PG, the main 2, PJ now in the mix for the wing guys, but the guys off the bench are now going to have to trust a little bit more Amir Coffey, or if you don't want to go that route, you go Kobe Brown. I'm a huge Kobe Brown fan. He played against Arkansas. Obviously, he went to Missouri. He played against Arkansas, so I watched a lot of him, and I'm a huge fan of him, and I think that he can really thrive in this system here under Ty Lue. And of course, you have Norman Powell and Brandon Boston Jr., but ideally, only 2 of those guys are going to get real minutes, and Kobe Brown had almost 20 minutes tonight. He had 19. But it's clear that the Clippers have gone all in. This starting 5 is insane. Zubac obviously is the standalone in the starting 5, but you have Russ, James, Kawhi, PG, and Zoo now, with Terrence Mann coming off the bench. And I think that is the biggest factor in this trade as far as Clippers holding on to their untouchable guy who, Twitter obviously has been cooking for the past few months. But let's flip the script a little bit and talk about these Sixers, because the Sixers aren't done. If you think the Sixers traded for these first-round picks not to use them, you're out of your mind. One of 2 things is going to have to happen for the Sixers. One, you're either going to have to trade for a superstar or a borderline superstar all-star to replace the entity of James Harden and to even compete with the Milwaukees and the Boston Celtics. Or you're going to have to bank on Tyrese Maxey to fill that void. And I'm not hating on Tyrese Maxey. I think he's a really good player. He's a bucket. He's an efficient bucket as well. Clearly, he's not on James Harden's level. And are you going to not waste a year, but are you going to spend a year with MVP Embiid trying to develop Tyrese Maxey into something? Or are you going to trade these pieces that you accumulated to go get a Zach LaVine from Chicago, to go see what Siakam? I don't even want to think about that front court of Siakam and Embiid, because that just sounds nasty. But you're going to have to trade for another piece if you want to actually contend. But more than anything, I'm glad that this saga is officially over, and now we get to just watch hoops. And I can't be more excited to watch this Clippers first game with everybody on the floor. because it's going to be a very interesting thing as to who's going to be the primary ball handler. You know what I mean? Russ versus James. I think James Harden is the better off-ball player by far, and it's not even close. But of course, you're gonna want James to get some of the touches, you know. So I don't know if they're gonna split it, if it's gonna be Russ, if it's gonna be James. I think for the most efficient way in this offense, like for it to work, I think Russ is the primary ball handler. Because let's just be for real, Russ and James are both elite playmakers, and I don't throw that word out, you know, just loosely. James Harden led the league in assists last season, which I know if you're one of those guys that you don't really care about stats, he is an elite playmaker. He's an elite pick and roll ball handler. He has very, very, very good vision on the floor. And Russ does as well. I mean, you've seen it, averaging triple doubles. I don't even want to get into that because a lot of people would take that the wrong way and take, you know, stats the wrong way. But they're both very good playmaking guards. But I believe that Russ should be manning the offense, ball in his hand more, and I think that would work better. James off ball. But we'll see. That's a beautiful thing about having Russ and James. You can alternate the two now. I don't know. The Clippers, I'm super glad that I have them where I had them in the predictions because now I feel like it's fully attainable. We just watched them tonight beat the hell out the Magic. And I know this video is coming late, but better late than never. But I think the Clippers are in a very weird area now. It's obviously going to take a little bit of time to mesh with these guys. But Russ and James already have that chemistry, so it shouldn't be that much. And I want to talk about Kawhi Leonard. Let me find a video. I want to talk about Kawhi on this play because I think what he did here is super, super corny considering the circumstances. So let's play the video and I'll walk you through it. So obviously the Clippers need a bucket here, right? Who else is it going to go to other than Kawhi Leonard? Jordan Clarkson is holding arguably the best defense of his life. Kawhi, you know, gives the ball up, gets it right back, throws up a bad shot. Russ gets the ball with 2.9 seconds left. He can either throw the ball out here to Batum, right, who is already getting closed out by. 2 seconds left. It's not a lot of time. He's going to take this mid-range shot, which Russ falling away mid-range is not the best shot, but Russ is a good mid-range shooter. The ball is in the air. Kawhi is slapping the floor on his knees before the ball even touches the rim. And I think this is the corniest thing in the world. Because what are you doing, Kawhi? You just spent, how long did they have? He just spent 17 seconds getting clamped, right? Or 13. He just spent 13 seconds getting clamped by Jordan Clarkson, which is a crazy statement to say, as is already. But for you to react the way that you did, let's just watch this one more time. He's getting clamped by Clarkson, right? Nothing's working. Kicks out to Batum. Batum gets it right back because why the fuck would Batum shoot the last shot? Kawhi puts up a bad shot. Russ has no other option but to shoot the ball. He has no other option but to shoot the ball because you're not giving this ball out. You're not kicking this out to Batum. You see John Collins closing out. You're not doing that. You're taking the mid-range because you're Russell Westbrook and you can knock down mid-range shots. Now, knowing that the ball didn't touch the rim, you may call it a bad shot, but given the circumstances, coming down with an offensive rebound, knowing 2 seconds left, you just have to put it up the shot. You just have to put it up. And for Kawhi to look down, slap the floor, that's not good teammate, man. It's like that's not a good teammate. And I can't speak for everything else because I'm sure Kawhi is a really good teammate. Everything I've heard on, you know, Paul George's podcast about Kawhi is great and upstanding. But this particular moment on national television in prime time, for you to react the way that you did because your teammate shot a shot from a situation that you put him in, is just beyond corny to me. And I'm not, you know, saying I lost all respect for him and stuff like that. But, bro, like, can we be real and can we talk about the way that he acted? If not, that's cool too, man. Let me know in the comments your opinion on it. Now that you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, if you did see it, how did you feel? But breaking this down, man, I don't want this to be a super long video. The Clippers are all in. You know, you're getting James Harden on a 1-year rental. He's going to be 35 next summer whenever he is a free agent. So you're going all in on a championship. Do I think that this makes the Clippers the favorites in the West? It's hard to tell with Denver. I want to see how they match up, but I firmly believe the Clippers will be a top 3 seed in the West. It's going to move Kawhi down to the 4, PG to the 3, and it's going to allow James Harden to play back at his natural. I don't want to say natural because he's evolved as a basketball player, but whenever he first came into the league, a 2 guard with Russell Westbrook at the 1, life comes full circle. They started in Oklahoma City together. They wound up in Houston together, and now they're back in LA. Both California guys. The starting 4, James Harden, Russ, Paul George, Kawhi, all from Cali. I find that very dope. I didn't really touch on this as much as I wanted to. Pause during the initial recording session. So coming over voiceover, I think that these 4 being from Cali and being all LA eccentric, is super super dope, bro. And I really think that it does a lot for the culture. And I wish that they all 4 would stick together whenever they get their new stadium and everything. But obviously age catches up and everything like that. But I think that them 4 being all from Cali, playing for the Los Angeles Clippers is just honestly the dopest shit in the world. But yeah, man, the Sixers, the ball's in your court now. I've seen a lot of tweets about teams ready to give the Sixers packages for Joel Embiid, and honestly, if I'm Joel, I'm kind of mad. You know what I mean? Because this is now the second player that has given up on you, that has given up on, a championship hope. This is the second player that has now not trusted the process. And it kind of makes you wonder if it is something else other than these 2, but we're talking about Ben Simmons and James Harden. James Harden's now on his 4th team and since 2021. But anyway, man, that's it. That's my initial reactions. Oh, one last thing. Tobias Harris is going to benefit the most from this trade. You're calling me crazy because they just got 4 wing guys. No, Tobias Harris was playing as someone who you just dump the ball to whenever Joel's not hitting, when James isn't hitting, whenever Tyrese isn't hitting. He's just there to knock down 4, 5, 6 shots a game. Tobias Harris now is coming back. He didn't just go to sleep every single night and get worse every single night as a basketball player. His usage went drastically down. You know what I mean? His expectations and standards from other people's perspectives all the way down. So freeing up this spot now allows him at least to rise up a little bit. Obviously, Maxey is going to skyrocket. His usage is going to skyrocket because they need somebody to replace that James Harden role. And he's it for now. But Tobias Harris is no longer under the shadow of 3 other players. He's now the 3rd option, which is a lot better than the 4th option if you ask me. So anyway, that's it, man. I don't think that a backcourt of Tyrese Maxey and DeAnthony Melton are going to win a championship or even get you to this conference finals. So I really hope that the Sixers are able to make a move. I would like to see Zach LaVine as a Sixer. It sounds and it appears disgusting in my head, the jersey combination. But the Sixers need another star. And Chicago needs to, stop avoiding the inevitable. They're going to have to blow up that roster. They're going to have to. It's not working. I know I said in my predictions the Bulls are going to figure it out, but I couldn't have been more wrong. They look absolutely terrible. They look horrible. But yeah, I think Zach LaVine will benefit from another change of scenery, and I think the Sixers are a perfect spot for him to do so. So that's going to be it, man. I will catch y'all next week. We're going to be doing previews of the in-season tournament and reviewing the courts. I already reviewed the courts on Twitter, so go look if you haven't already. That'll be it, man. I'll catch y'all next video. Peace.